Welcome to Perry Unlikely. So today the point of this is really just to let people ask questions, really a Q&A, but I do have a couple things I'll point out. The main point of today's stream is because I get questions all the time from beginners where to start in crypto. So I've been in crypto for a while. Obviously, crypto can be pretty, it's easy to get involved in crypto and run off and forget that some people have no exposure. And a lot of people coming to crypto now don't even have exposure to the traditional market. So the point is to try to get people up to speed and really let people ask their own questions. So it's really going to be an open chat today. We're not going to go too long, but I am going to start off just making a couple of points about the essentials that you probably need to have to get started. One thing about getting started in crypto is if you ask someone, where do I begin if I want to invest in crypto? And their answer is very specific, there's an issue with that right off the top. And the reason for that is it depends on what you're trying to do. So, for example, some people look at it long term, some people want money now. And, when I say now, I mean within the next couple of weeks, months. Some people are looking to retire with it. So there's just too many things to look at other than to just be able to narrow it down and say, hey, here's what you need to do to be successful in crypto. So if you're asking me, what should you do to get started in crypto? Well, the first question I have for you is, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get rich? Which, let's face it, most people that come to crypto, they just want to be rich. But it's not as simple as just throwing money at a hole and seeing what happens. There's tons of coins. When I started, I think there were maybe in the hundreds. Now we're talking, there's literally thousands and thousands of coins. So as there comes more coins onto the market, you really got to stay up on point with what's going on. So anyway, let me just point out something real quick. I want to get started. This right here shows the cycle. The most important thing that you need to know when you first get into crypto, you need to have an understanding of the cycles. If you don't understand the cycles, you're not going to understand where you're at. So, for example, right here shows 2011, 2013, 2017, and 2021. Now, the reason for that is we've been on what we call a 4-year cycle, basically up to this point. Now, the reason why 2021 has a question mark is when it comes to crypto, we only know what we know, right? So we expected it to continue following somewhat of a cycle. So also right here, it shows like 2013, you see a multiplier above previous top. So obviously the previous major top was in the first major top was in 2011. So looking from 2011, then you look at the top of Bitcoin price in 2013, it did a 37x. So then you fast forward 4 years later, 2017, Bitcoin does a 17x. Then we get to 2021, and we have been talking about expanded cycles. So the cycle does get longer. So where you have those, basically where we say it's 4 years, well, it's not quite 4 years anymore. It's longer now. So just looking at it, you can also see it was a 37x and then it went down to a 17x. So really looking at the 2017 when it hit just under $20,000, well, just looking at this right here, you can tell we're not expecting it to do another 17x. We're looking at something maybe like a 10x or an 8x. But still, when you look at that in comparison to it doing 20,000, well, we could still expect somewhere in between $150,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin. Now, as crazy as that seems, right now, all we can do is go based off of the information that we have. And the reason why people expected it to be 2021 was for the reason that we've been going off the 4-year cycle. But with it expanding, now it has come into this year. And there's other factors, economic factors. There's tons of things that can affect this. So you got to keep that in mind. Shout out Wealth Engineering. So really, when it comes to the cycles, you can only use this stuff to a certain degree. Stuff is always changing. So you can't it's not good enough to say, hey, it's a 4-year cycle. And that's something that I held to. I believe that we'd be out of this market by November or December in 2021. But as different things happen, I change with the information I'm given. And with it being an expanded cycle, I myself do believe that sometime between, I would say June, I'm going to say later than that, probably in the fall, maybe October, November, I think we will come to the end of this cycle. Now, it could happen before. I do not see it going on after that point. And always remember, I say the government can really pretty much screw up anything. So just like we have this war going on, those factors are always going to play a part. But as we can see in the recent couple of days, how Bitcoin's rallied, anything can happen. So that's something to remember, certainly when it comes to it. Something else I want to show real quick. And then obviously, like I said, this whole stream is basically about asking questions. Or if you've been in crypto and you think there's something important for those who are new to know, certainly let me know, because that's important as well. That's what I like about crypto the most, is just the community aspect. So no one is a true guru. We're all learning this together, but there are certainly a lot of people who have spent a lot of time in this space and really do have an understanding of, where things are headed. So I'm going to show another thing real quick. Let's see. Just 1 second. All right. So I wanted to show something about mining and just really how it kind of works. So as far as people really don't understand the aspect of mining, it's pretty simple, actually. It's really just the best way to look at it. Look, it's algorithms, and it's computations being done. So that's what's happening when you're mining Bitcoin, and anyone essentially can mine Bitcoin. But this is a good example of, like it says, miners rewards for successfully completing one block have every 210,000 blocks, or on average 4 years. So this is referred to as the halvening. So 21 million Bitcoin in total. I like to think of it now that there's probably about 18 million that there will ever be, because of lost Bitcoin, hacks, various reasons. When people pass away, if no one has access to their wallet, those are lost. So, some of those will be found, but for the most part, if someone doesn't know how to access it, we are not going to see that Bitcoin again. So as you can see, 2009, 50 BTC mined. So as you can see, it's decreasing, right? So per block, that is. So as far as the rewards, those rewards are decreasing. So something to know is, whenever miners, that does use a lot of electricity. So as miners mine Bitcoin, they'll hold them for some time, but eventually they will sell, right? And a lot of that is price dependent. They'll sell those onto the open market, and then they'll pay for various things that help them to mine: electricity, equipment, mining rigs, and things like that. So what happens is, the rewards are getting less and less. So every 4 years, that's that 210,000 blocks, it cuts in half. So in 2012, we got down to 25 BTC, 2016, 12 and a half, 2020, 6.25, and so on. 2024, it'll be half of that, and so on and so on. So what happens is that halving usually really is the start of the bull market. So what happens is, because of supply and demand, that's when things just start to go really crazy. And it takes some time. It's not like clockwork, but we can usually see a rather big run up. We did have a little bit of a one off. Obviously, we had more than a little bit of a one off. We had the pandemic, obviously, which 2020 was a very interesting year for crypto. So little different than the norm as far as that, but all these factors do play a big part in what happens with Bitcoin. So what'll happen is Bitcoin really leads the way. So when we talk about investing in crypto, regardless of whether you like Bitcoin or not, Bitcoin is the leader. And will that change one day? It likely will. But as for now, you can pick the cryptocurrency that you think is amazing and has all the potential in the world. But what will end up happening is if Bitcoin runs into some trouble, should I say, and ends up going down, well, so goes the whole market. That's just the way that it goes. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. If you're investing in crypto, even if you don't invest in Bitcoin, you have to know what Bitcoin's doing. You got to know what Bitcoin is doing. Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking for how beginners can get started. So certainly if you have any questions, let me know and I'll do my best to answer those. It gets easy to run off and forget that not everyone's been in the market this long. So if you just come in and you have no clue where to start, it can be pretty rough. And there's a lot of savages out there, frankly, in crypto. It's like a shark infested water. But once you learn how to swim with them, you can certainly make, I would say, likely some of the best money I've ever seen anyway. So great opportunity. But when it comes to it, if you don't pay attention to Bitcoin, so for example, the first thing I'm doing every day is, although I am more heavily invested in other cryptocurrencies, the first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at what Bitcoin's doing. You can almost guarantee what type of day it's going to be in the crypto market for all the other cryptos based off of Bitcoin. So that's something that people forget. They get so bogged down, focused on one coin. They're not thinking about the greater market. So you always got to pay attention to the entire market. It's extremely important. Something else to remember is you also have to look at it. If you're going to invest, you have to find a happy medium. So we're going to take meme coins, for example. Now, everyone feels differently about meme coins. My thought on meme coins are, yes, there's opportunity there, but what you have to do when you think about what type of opportunity is, what I ask myself is, for me, meme coins are more of a short-term thing. And the reason is when it comes to meme coins, what do they do? And that's what people don't ask themselves. What do meme coins actually do? And many of them, they don't really do anything. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make a fortune, but someone is going to get left holding the bag, just quite frankly. So that's something I'll get a little bit more into, but I'm going to talk about kind of how I look at various different types of coins, kind of how I stack my portfolio up. Is the Marcus Knight, shout out, is the bull run over? So it is not, in my opinion. And is it time to expect the bear market to approach? So it is not over. I don't believe it is anyway. I think we still have until probably October or November. So we still have a good opportunity. Now, what I will say is we're at the end of this cycle. So, if you talk about a 4-year cycle, we are, if you think about it like baseball, we are likely entering the 9th inning. But that's not a bad thing because, for example, all the activity, and you may say eighth, ninth inning, all the activity, not all of it, but an extreme amount where you just see these cryptocurrencies go absolutely nuts is in the ninth inning. So while I say we're still in a bull market and we're at the end, the thing to remember is the end is where it really all takes place. You can look at any crypto market from the beginning of the cycle to the end, and you're going to see really the craziness, whether we're talking about 20, 30, 40 X's. If we're not talking about new coins because new coins, they can do 100X pretty easy, the right one. But outside of that, when we're talking about just coins that have been on the market doing 100X, 50X, whatever, you'll notice that does take place at the end of the cycle. So really, that's a good question. We definitely have more time. And now is still a great time to get in. But if you're getting in now, unless it's just specific coins and you really want to wait, long term, I'm talking a couple years, I would say you've got to look at it like, hey, I'm trying to get in, get my money now over the next couple of months, and then be prepared to get out is the way that I look at that. All right. So how to distribute your portfolio. So as far as distributing your portfolio, it really depends on, what's your specific goal. So for me, I'm actually not in Bitcoin that much at all. Now I'm a big fan of Bitcoin, but the decision that I had to make was I'm looking at it like multiples. So for example, shout out Wealth Engineering. Thank you for the super chat. Definitely appreciate it. So for my portfolio, when I had Bitcoin and then I started thinking, well, what has the most opportunity, Ethereum or Bitcoin? And even if you don't know anything else about crypto, but the projects are good, Ethereum, simply because of the market cap, and this goes back now a couple years when in making that decision. Even just because of the market cap, I knew that Ethereum had more upside. Now that's proven to be right. So I decided to make a big shift into Ethereum, which is what I did. So I'm very heavy in my portfolio in Ethereum, and then Polkadot, layer ones. Cardano is probably my second biggest holding, actually, before Polkadot. So a lot of people like to have, so I call those my anchor. Now, a lot of people like to have Bitcoin as an anchor, which nothing's wrong with that. I just have to know if I do that. So for example, as I mentioned, we may see a $150,000 Bitcoin. And that's very possible this year. I actually told someone the other day, I actually expect this to reach, to be retesting all-time highs, possibly as early as next month, certainly by May. So provided nothing crazy happens. So, so when it comes down to it, Bitcoin's fine, but you got to realize if we think we're going to see $140,000 Bitcoin, well, how many multiples are we getting? And for me, that return from where we're at now, it's just not enough. I mean, it's not even a 3X from where we sit right now. So because of that, or it's roughly around a 3X, right? So because of that, I can look at Ethereum and say, look, if Bitcoin goes to 150,000, where do I think Ethereum is going to be? Ethereum literally could be at 20, 25,000. It's possible. Now, will it go there and stay there? No. The same way that if Bitcoin goes to 150,000, I don't expect it to stay there. I would expect us to see back under a six-figure Bitcoin and when we go into the bear market. So these cycles, they peak and then they go down. So that's something you have to think about is that some people will get Bitcoin. They say they're never going to sell, and they will literally watch, they'll watch their wealth go from, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands to millions, back down to even tens of thousands. And they're fine with that. And then, the next cycle, they're in the millions. And then the next cycle, when it comes back down, it's the multiple millions. So if you're looking for it as a long-term hold, no problem with that. Me, the way that I invest, which I think most people really want to invest that way, I invest on trying to get it now and get it later. So I don't personally see a reason why I don't personally see a reason why you would in at a time when I can, let's just take this for example. And I'm going to do really simple numbers. If I've got $250 and I know that over 20 years I can turn that to we'll just say 50,000. For me, that's okay and that's amazing, but I like the path of I can take 250, I can turn it to 5,000, and then I can pull that out of the market. The market goes back down. I'm able to buy even more and then turn that, and then, even if you say in the second year, I'm able to turn that to 15,000. And then, so for example, I'm able to now, while you still turn, and we'll say a 10-year period, we're able to turn $250,000 to 50,000. I was able to far exceed that in a 5-year period because I'm more actively in the market. The difference between those that are active in the market and those who aren't is just simply a choice. It's the same way if anyone who has a 401k, like I do. I don't really pay much attention to it. I'm not concerned what it does. It's for down the road. Crypto for me is the complete opposite. Is absolutely the complete opposite. Let me shout out, and I do want to shout out Wealth Engineering again. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Salute Intentional Millionaire and Peter Investor M. Salute to you. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I definitely appreciate it. If any of y'all have any questions, please don't hesitate. I'm going to definitely be doing several of these because I really want to give people an opportunity to start asking questions. And there literally is no question that is too basic. I mean, this is really just a beginner chat. I mean, it can be about wallets, portfolio, anything, but yeah. So just focusing on really when it comes to if I had to think about three things to think about when I start, it's the cycle. You have to know. I wouldn't invest anything unless it's someone you just really trust that's going to guide you through it. And it really needs to be someone you trust. But you really still want to get into it for yourself so you understand. The first question I would ask is, where's the cycle at right now? So as I said, right now in this cycle, we are in the 9th inning. But being in the 9th inning is perfect in crypto because that is where the money's made. So just for example, even being in the 9th inning, within the next 5 months, we can see Bitcoin over 100,000, Ethereum 15, 20,000. We can see Cardano go to $10. We can see a lot of smaller coins. I think AVAX, I looked today, I think AVAX was around $95. That can go to 1,000 easy, in my opinion. So that's a 10x. There's smaller coins, even smaller than that can do a 20 or 30x. I would not be surprised whatsoever. And then those who really understand the market, they will also turn around and short the market on the way down also. So, so absolutely. So there's just, it's kind of hard to explain how much opportunity there is. And, beyond just, beyond this simple, mentioning of understanding the market, then it's just the basic points of how do you send crypto. That is something that you can learn pretty easy, even with something as simple as a Coinbase wallet, an account. You can start to learn how to send crypto. The thing about it is when you send crypto, you just have to be very careful. It's easy to make mistakes. You do not send, you don't send Bitcoin to an Ethereum wallet. You don't send Ethereum to a Polkadot wallet. Just really the basics. So you want to start learning the basics of how you send crypto, how you do transactions, and also because how things have changed so much. I mean, if I had all the money I've wasted on Ethereum transactions back when it was so cheap, it didn't matter. It's just unbelievable how much that money's worth. So you do need to be conscious of how much you spend in trading fees. and things like that. Because when the thing about these cryptocurrencies are, when you're new, even if it's a cheap one like Ethereum, people new to crypto aren't even doing transactions with Ethereum right now, because unless they're already wealthy, because it's just so expensive. Unless they're literally pretty much rich, they're not doing it. So you, as these things grow, you'll realize the dollars that you blew today just doing transactions, doing crazy stuff, will literally be thousands of dollars that you would have had you have just done it the smartest way. So that's something to always think about. I mean, I can't even keep up with how many transactions I've done, how many trades I've done, and that leads me to another thing. Do not try to trade. That's the worst. If you don't have a fundamental if you don't have a fundamental idea about trading, you're you're gonna get beat over the head. There's no other way to look at it. You can't because if you don't understand trading, then you're just literally just doing it off of emotion. Like think about it. If I just get on here and say, man, I feel like Bitcoin will go up tomorrow, it's ridiculous. There's no way you can do that. Now, if I'm starting to make informed decisions and tell you, hey, based off of this information, I really think I've got this on-chain data, and it's showing that whales have been buying crypto. I also looked and saw that exchanges are lowest on Bitcoin that they've been in the past, 10 months. When you start to put together stuff like that, I'm starting to see the most crypto that's ever been sent off of exchanges, purchased and sent off of the exchange. When you see all those factors, then we can make a good decision on, okay, now I think Bitcoin's going to go up, but it's based off of information. Now, you can just do technical trading, and there's always debates. Some people say technical analysis doesn't work. I am certain, and I'm certain that technical analysis works, but you have to get skilled in it if that's what you do. And I'm not a trader. I'm not a trader like that. I'm more of a swing trader. So I hodl and hold stuff longer term, and then at the same time, I will hold some in the short term, for several weeks, a month, several months. That's how I do it. I'm just not a day trader. Day trading in crypto will get you thrashed, is my opinion. So, that's my thought on it. If anybody has any questions, like I said, let me know. And yeah, so those are the most basic things. We got the cycle. You want to learn how to do transactions. You really don't want to trade until you get some basis down on an understanding of of trading. So that's just not somewhere that I would start as well. And you also want to keep up with news. When it comes to a portfolio, you don't want to be buying way too much or spread yourself out. So, the rage right now is NFTs. And I think NFTs are here to stay. But if you're not going to take the time to learn about NFTs and really learn, even about the metaverse, the ins and outs. Like I bought some land. I bought some metaverse land, I think a week and a half ago. I had studied it for quite some time. What makes this metaverse different, just bits and pieces that lead me to believe that it's a good purchase. If you're not going to take time to do those things, it's going to be hard to be successful. And that's also, it's important to remember that some of these things that come out, there's just no way you can catch them all. For example, Bored Apes. I was going to buy a Bored Ape early on, a couple $100. And I was literally just busy. I just didn't because I was busy. That's it. Really no excuse, right? But could I have ever imagined that Bored Apes would go on to be worth, well, I checked like last week, and I think, or the week before, I want to say based off of the other apes that they give you just for owning a Bored Ape, and then also the ape coin that it basically was nearly worth that, literally a couple $100 literally went on it currently, depending on the one you have, is worth what, anywhere from 450 to $600,000. There's no way for anybody to know that. There's just no way. So whether it's trend or whatever it is, and that is an example of a project that, you think about, whether it's Dogecoin, whether it's Shiba Inu. It's one thing to like memes just because, but do they go on and become something? So Dogecoin is a functioning blockchain now. It's not just a meme, but will they continue to build on that? If they don't, then it's, in my opinion, it's not worth its weight. If they do, then that's fine. And that's the point that I'm making is, especially with meme coins, or whether it was Bored Apes and the NFTs, they've built an ecosystem around Bored Apes, and now they're going to have their own metaverse. So they just continue to build on it. They have their own coin now. So because of that, it's like an exclusive club that grants them certain rights. When you build like that, you can really turn anything into a true ecosystem. But for these projects, and I don't even want to hate on them, because some of them I don't know enough about, to each their own. But if we're talking about Flocky Inu, or, to me, that's just a roulette table at the casino. It is just a roulette table, because if it doesn't really do anything, if I create the Perry Unlikely coin, who cares about it? I mean, so that's the thing. If it gives you some benefits, right? Like if it gives you some benefits where, hey, you get exclusive counseling, or you get this or get that, well, it can hold some value. But to come up with a coin just for the sake of saying you got a coin, it just has no value. So you really want to stick to looking at value. That's you absolutely want to stick to finding what has value in cryptocurrency, and that doesn't matter what. So, for example, when I talk about value, for me, nothing in cryptocurrency at this point, although it has its issues, nothing has more value than probably Ethereum. That's just now. I'm a big Cardano fan, and I think Cardano will continually gain some market share. But there's nothing, when you talk about partnerships, what's built on it, the ecosystem, Ethereum is just light years ahead. It just is. And Bitcoin isn't capable of the things Ethereum is. But that's not what Bitcoin is trying to do. Bitcoin is essentially digital gold. It is the one that came first, and I think it'll hold its place for a while. I don't think it always will, but I do think it will always be kind of the gold standard. It's just, it may not be the largest by market cap, if you will. So let's see. All right. So many good projects on the Cardano blockchain. Which ones do you think have the potential to go a 100x? That's a good question. Now a 100x, I do think there's some further out. I'm not sure if Cardano has progressed. I'm not sure if Cardano has progressed farther enough along during this cycle to get many 100x's. It really just depends. And I'll say safe 100x's, right? Because there's some out there that will end up being a scam, and that's on any blockchain. A couple I'm really looking at, and here's a tip. Actually, I like to look at a lot of them, even if you know nothing about the project. Something I do, I go down and Marcio is absolutely correct when it comes to Cardano. There are some really good projects. I'll go down, I'll look at Cardano projects, and I'll look at the market. I'll look at the token supply. Token supply is a big factor. I mean, we've got coins coming out that have 5 billion tokens, 2 billion, 10 billion. I mean, heck, we've got some that come out that have like a trillion basically almost, right? So um when you find one that's like really low, and low nowadays, I mean, I remember when low was like 10 million or like or less. 100 million is relatively low now. So like I like Ardana. I really like Ardana. Been paying attention to that. And I'm gonna try to pop up the I'm gonna try to actually pop up the market cap real quick because that's really what I mean that's really a big factor. So, if we're talking about, actually, which ones can do well. By the way, I use CoinGecko. Um, and I might as well share my screen. Hold up one second. Let's see. Yeah, I like to use CoinGecko. Let's see. I will pull up some of these projects. All right, let me share my screen. All right, so I've got. Let me pull up. See if Ardana's on there. Here we go. So Ardana, I think it said it was like 792. We're talking $2.27. And by the way, the price doesn't really the price doesn't really matter. Don't ever get caught up in the price. Never get caught up in the price. It just doesn't matter at the end of the day. There's just so much more factors. So for example, um, here's a good point right here. So market cap on Ardana right now. I mean, not market cap. I'm sorry. Circulating supply. The market cap is 28. Is 28 million, and that's yeah. So right now we've got 12 million coins in circulation right now. Now there's only 125 million. That's pretty low. That's actually pretty low. So the thing that you got to think about when it comes to when you really want to get deep into trying to find out how much money I can make in the short term, you got to pay attention to things like this. You see the total supply is 125 million. That doesn't matter. What matters is the 12 million because that's what's circulating. That's what's actually available. So what I pay attention to is I go and look up. If I want to find out, I'll start looking at events that Ardana is having. How much the trading volume, 200,000. Now that's extremely low right now. It's because it's new. It'll continue to pick up. And they're about to have like a ISPO where you can actually gain free Ardana soon. That'll give the ecosystem a spike, but that will put more tokens into the circulating supply. But I'll go and look at the distribution schedule. And if I see coins and that means the distribution schedule determines what coins are how many coins are going from here to here. So in the total supply, we're going into the actual circulating supply. So if I don't see a lot that are coming in, I know that I have an opportunity as long as I see the trading volume continuing to go up. That means more people are getting it. More people are starting to hold it. But now if you see that the distribution is going to start going really fast, you got to be careful because that means more in the circulating supply, which is downward pressure on the price. So I hope that makes sense. But I just wanted to explain that real quick since I had it. Ardana is one. Do I think it's going to be a quick and it's like a DeFi one-stop shop, if you will, right? Or Cardano. This is one. I mean, when we look at the market cap, I mean, that is nothing. That is ridiculously low. That's one over the long run. If Cardano is successful, I do believe this one will be successful. They also have Dana Swap, so they're going to have their decentralized exchange. So Ardana's one I really I really, really like. Really paying attention to that one. Um, Another one that is on Cardano. Actually, I've been paying attention to MinSwap actually, which people kept on telling me about MinSwap, and I just I I get into so many of them, and MinSwap's not on. I didn't think it was going to be on here. Um, and I did so many videos about Sunday Swap. I don't Sunday Swap's not on here either, actually. But I really like I really like MinSwap. Let me see if I can look up let's go to Sunday Swap. All right. So if you go to Sunday Swap, I'm not even gonna actually go into it. I'm just gonna go up here real quick. Okay, so like Sunday Swap, I think still is really good, and for that price, that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty cheap. I think overall, when Sunday Swap works some things out, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very good DEX, in my opinion. Some of these things take years to really get to where they need to. Now, this is one that I really am a believer in. Actually, this is one of the first, and I actually do tell that on a video that I did. This is one of the first projects. You know, I've had numerous projects reach out to me, and I've never done a video for any of them except for this one. I actually believed in it so much, I finally was like, yeah, I'll do a video. Now, what I did, I went and bought some. I literally bought some myself, and I've got some. Actually, I'm going to do a giveaway for the community and give away some of these tokens. And I also participated in their. They had an ISPO where you could stake your Cardano and get free ones. So I got and that was anyone who has Cardano and stakes could do that. So I participated in that and got a good amount. So I am invested in this project, and I do think this one's going to do very well. And I don't have it in front of me, but one reason I think it's going to do well is it only has, if I'm correct, it only has 30 million tokens. To me, I mean, I just say cha-ching. I mean, you think about it. Sunday Swap had all the hype, which I still think it should have. I'm not really surprised about that. Now, it was doing well, and I think it was up near. I think it made it almost to $2, maybe. Now it's come back down, and I somewhat do suspect that, and more coins are coming on the market. But here we have Ada Finance at $2.34, and why is that? That is because they don't have that many tokens. So that's always something to think about. Token supply, it really makes a big difference when it comes to that. So that's a project I really, really like. That I really like. There's some other ones too, and I'll try to find another one. There was one I was starting to look at because I've actually started looking for kind of that, that next really looking for that next 100x, and it takes a lot of research and a lot of time to really drill down on that, and find it. Let me see. All right, where do you see Cardano ecosystem at the end of the year? So I see this is interesting. At the end of the year, I see Cardano ecosystem. I think I could be wrong, but I think we'll be in a bull market at the end of the year. So I think I see Cardano back. I see Cardano around maybe $1.50, maybe at the end of the year. But before that, like later on in the year, I still see it reaching with potential to reach $8 to $10. And I see the ecosystem really picking up. Like this is one. Cardano to me is one, and mind you, I got into Cardano. I think at I started buying Cardano at 3 cents. I think. I remember when I thought 11 cents was a little too expensive for Cardano. Now that was years ago at this point, and I was it's crazy to think I thought that way, but I just kept on buying it and said I'm not going to get rid of it, and and I've had it ever since. And I stake it, and I get staking rewards off of it as well. But Cardano to me is one of the most, and it's got a lot of tokens. I think the supply for Cardano, I want to say, is 45 million maybe as the total supply, but it wears me none at all because it's just such a beast. It takes time. It's seventh cryptocurrency overall. It's at $1.20. It's really turned around in the past couple of days. There we go. Yep, 40. And I said 45 million. I'm sorry, I meant 45 billion. It's 45 billion, and there's 32 billion in circulating supply. So just think about that. That's ridiculous. I mean, it's just crazy to think the market cap. There is $38 billion in Cardano. That's just that's absolutely unbelievable. But when you look at an Ethereum, and of course there's way less Ethereum, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about how much money goes into them. Of course, Ethereum's the number 2 cryptocurrency, and we have $400 billion. So before you know it, we are approaching $500 billion in market cap, and the circulating supply is 120 million Ethereum. So so at the end of the year, I see Cardano at the end of the year, because I see us in a bear market by the end of the year. But prior to that, I do think it'll reach. I do think we reach $8, $10, and maybe beyond. If it gets full steam ahead like it did previously, I mean, it's really going to do well, I believe. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Peter Investor M. I definitely appreciate the love. Salute to you and all you guys. Definitely, I appreciate it. Let's see. Wealth engineering. Let me see. I see among the ETH killers, which can rival Ethereum, is staking a long-term play. Peter Investor M. Actually, it's funny you say that, because I was listening to some stuff on. I was actually listening to some stuff on Ethereum today, and now staking is definitely a long-term play. I've done really well. I've been staking Cardano for a while. I mean, I've been staking Cardano for a year and a half. I don't know, maybe since not too long after you could start staking. I've been staking for a while. I can't even remember. It's been so long. And it's done really well. And when you think about, like when Cardano gets up there around $10, yeah, it's gonna, man, it's just major gains. But also when you stake, it doesn't ever leave your wallet. So I use a hardware wallet. So it's just an added layer of protection. I would definitely stake. But what I was gonna say, I'm hearing that Ethereum staking, when it comes, because they're moving over to ETH 2.0. I'm hearing, well, it's not called 2.0 anymore. It's I think it's just the consensus layer, right? So I am hearing there may be like 10%. I mean, a 10% return is just, that's ridiculous. So you just can't get those type of gains elsewhere, honestly, with what I say is minimal, risk. So let me see. Computer's acting up. Let's see. Just 1 second. But yeah, there's just major opportunities, honestly. Just still major opportunities in crypto, and really, it's just not too late to start. That's the main thing that I think it's important for people to know. A lot of people are, concerned. What if I lose my money? Well, the question is, are you concerned about losing your money in the stock market? It's absolutely risky. But the biggest thing you pay attention to, though, is you just have to pay attention to what is happening to what's happening as a whole. And when you see the things that are happening and the people getting involved, I saw a stat earlier about, what was it talking about? Hedge funds. And that's what you got to think about. When you think about, should I be getting into this? And by the way, I'm not saying that hedge funds are the most savory. Um, you know, those who run hedge funds are the most savory individuals in the world. I'm not saying they are either way or not. But if a hedge fund is investing in it, it's the same thing as, the financial crisis of 2008, when we had hedge funds buying these houses any and everywhere. Well, there's a reason for it. And all those other people who bought houses along with them ended up making a fortune. So it's the same thing. So a good way of looking at it, even if you know nothing about crypto at all, you can learn about certain hedge funds or certain investment groups, find out what they're doing, and that's a good indication. It's a good indication. Doesn't mean that you just do exactly what they're doing, but it does end up being a pretty good indication of something you can follow and start to get an idea about it. So, anybody else have any questions that I can answer? And I'll certainly come up with some more of those, that I think have the potential to 100x. But like I say, when you look at that, you definitely have to look at the buzz around it and always look at the token supply. Some of these, that's another thing back to meme coins. When I hear people say, such and such to $1, and they're not even doing the math of how much money has to go. It's like some of them the market cap would have to be 10 times the amount Bitcoin's market cap is to go to $1, and people think they're going to go to $1. And it's like, of course, when Bitcoin grows, the whole market grows. But I don't even think Bitcoin's not even going to 10x its market cap in this cycle. So why would I think another one's going to surpass that? Like, that means we're saying that one of these meme coins is going to surpass the market cap of Bitcoin. Anything's possible, but I'm not. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that bet. I'm not going to take that bet. So absolutely. So, it's just, there's all kinds of ways to, but there's all kinds of ways to get to start getting invested. But I would not hold off. But you always have to do your research. It's extremely, extremely important to do your research. So really, I just wanted to hop on, this evening, just to really start the conversation for those who are new to it. And it's something I think I can do a better job of. I do a lot of content on certain projects, and a lot of mine have been, certainly lately, have been in the Cardano ecosystem. But I'm a fan of many different projects and ecosystems. It's just, there's just so much going on right now around Cardano that's kind of where I've been. But yeah, I want to make sure though that I don't put the cart before the horse. And because several people have asked me, how do I get started in crypto? I really want to start at least, continue to have that conversation and allowing people to ask, okay, because the biggest thing that I think is hard in crypto is people will tell you stuff, but it's hard for them to connect the dots. So what I hope to do is actually help people, connect the dots. So if we're talking about, hey, how do I start with $100? And what I would tell you, if I had to tell somebody and someone's like, okay, how do I start with $100 and just simply, get a 50%, get a 50% return, right? I'm going to get you $150. I would tell them, wait till the next time that crypto drops something nasty. It has a nice pullback, and I would tell them to get into, and by the way, you can always look and see where it was at previously. And I would tell them to get into a layer one protocol, maybe something like AVAX, Solana, depending on how big the pullback is. Ethereum with $100, you don't want to go into Ethereum with that little amount, right? It's all relative to how much money you're putting in. But that's kind of how I would play that. It would be based. I would just say, hey, look at AVAX, get into something like that, and you'll. I'm actually going to pull it up real quick and let's see. We look at AVAX, Avalanche now, and Avalanche is not small, by the way. It's the number 10 cryptocurrency. I mean, it's 24. The market cap is pretty big. So 24 billion. That's a big market cap. But overall, that's what I would do. If you look at the, let's see, let me share my screen again. Let me see. Here we go. All right. So if you look right here, even within the past, I mean, think about this. That's what I was talking about. 14 days ago, since 14 days, right? A year, there was the big pullback where everybody freaked out. So it's up 221%. But even if you just look at 14 days ago, it's up 33%. That's why I'm saying if you look for a big pullback, inevitably you at some point, now you're going to do this. It's a bull market right now. So you don't want to do that in a bear market. You'll get crushed. But right now, that's definitely what, that's definitely like a good time. So for example, it was down to 89. I'm trying to think when did we have that big, the market just got, thrashed not long ago. And it's just part of the volatility. But, these coming on the CoinGecko and coming over here and looking at this, if you look at it, this is what shows you we're in a bear market. A year ago, we're up. 30 days ago, up. 14 up, 7 up, 24 up, 1 hour up. Now, some of these can be read, obviously, but the point is we are increasingly moving up in the market. And at one point, I do want to say the high of this because I was holding it. Yep, was $144. And actually, a friend of mine, I told him that I was going to hop into this at, if I'm correct, I think I hopped in around $60, and I actually rode it up to about 135, and I got out of it. And that's what I did. And then it came back down, and I bought a little bit more, and I rode it back up a little bit more. So that's what you got to pay. That's what you got to pay attention to. And the news is very important. Always pay attention to the news. So that's just the other piece. You got to know what's going on. You have to know what's going on in the market. So if you are looking for a place to keep up with different projects, you definitely need Medium. There's an app. Now, Medium has articles on everything, but I like Medium myself. Somebody else might be able to name something they like, but Medium's one I really like. So I would definitely pay attention to that. Let's see. Nope. Hold on. Yep. So, I mean, this is basically where I get a lot of my information from is from Medium. Now, like I said, I have the app, and that's where I do most of it. Now, yeah, we'll save Will Smith slapping someone for another day. But anyway, there's a lot of opportunity out there. So get involved. If you're not yet, I mean, I'm telling you, it's life-changing. It really is. It really is. It really can be life-changing. But you just gotta get involved and gotta start to figure out stuff. So if no one else has any questions, we will wrap it up. But I did want to start the conversation at least around, how you get started. And then if anybody has any videos that, on certain content that they want to request, feel free, let me know. I will try to put some stuff together. I basically just aim to try to teach what I can, and I just want more people to get involved because we are really seeing something similar to like, honestly, this is like, I'm not even going to call it the .com bubble. This is like the tech. This is like the beginning of the iPhone here. I mean, we're coming into a new age of something, and it's just going to keep on getting. It's going to keep on getting wilder and wilder. So, wanted to point that out. I want to say thanks to each and every one of you all for taking time to watch and listen to the stream. And I will be doing this more often. And I'll kind of get acclimated to live streaming. I do VODs, video on demand for the most part, but I do like to be able to just hop on and interact. I want to thank everybody for the super chats as well. Much respect. I really appreciate you all. And if it's nothing else, you all take care and start building wealth. Do not wait. Take care.